The goal today is to demonstrate just a brief tutorial to using Logic LY, which you're going to be using for the Lab 3. And so I'm going to first go over and start up Logic LY. I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to go to Applications, scroll down to the symbol here, Logic LY, fire it up. It's going to come up with this, and I'm just going to say Continue Trial or Start Trial, whatever you have on yours. I'm going to pop this up. I'm going to close this little window here. Alright, first thing we're going to do is learn how to use a switch. So I'm going to come over here. First of all, I guess just familiarize ourselves. We have our different things that we can use on the left. Toggle switch we'll use. We may use a high 1, so that's 1, always a 1, always a 0. A light bulb, that's a counter. I'll show you how to use that in a minute. We have our NOT gate, our AND gate, our NAND gate, OR gate, NOR gate, and exclusive OR gate. And notice that the connectors for these different gates are these bulbs on the ends of the wires. So those do not mean negative or invert. It's the inversion bubble is right next to the end of the symbol. So there's a NOT. That's a NAND. See that extra bubble there? And that's a NOR. Okay? And look down here. The only other thing down here at this point that we'll want to use is this label. So briefly, let me demonstrate how to use the switches and this counter. First of all, let's use a switch. Just pulling it over. Ignore this export name. We don't care about that right now. Pull the light bulb. I'm going to attach this like this. Notice this is completely white. So now if I flip the switch, the light turns on. Off, on. Okay. So now click on something to get rid of it. So now I want to use this counter, demonstrate how to use the counter. So I'm going to need, I have 4 inputs, so I'm going to need 4 switches. Connect them up. Okay, let's put a light bulb as, well, we don't need a light bulb. Alright, so they're all off, 0. First one's on, 1. Second one's on, 2. Third one's on, 4. How about third and first? 5. Okay. What do you think is going to happen if I turn them all on? F. So this is a hex counter from 0 to 15. So you can play with the switches and get the numbers. Alright, so that's a counter. So now I'm going to show you how to label stuff. You're going to be asked to label inputs and outputs. So I'm going to label this. I pulled this label up here. Notice the text box comes up. I'm going to call this A. Grab another one. B. C. D. All right, I'm going to label the output X. All right. So that's the basic ideas for light switches and a counter and how to label. So I paint the whole thing and hit delete. Gets rid of everything. So let's do a simple AND gate. Fold that over. Need a light bulb. You're going to need something connecting the inputs and the outputs whenever you're designing. This has 2 inputs, 1 output. So, whoops. Yo. Connect here. Connect here. Connect here. Sorry for that little interlude. I had someone walk by. All right, both switches are off. Light switch is off. This is an AND gate. So both switches need to be on for the light switch to be on. 1, 1, 1. So light switch on, all on. Okay, so let's label them. Just pull these over here and I'll fill them in a second. So I'm going to click on this guy. Go A. And you can label anything you want. B. X. All right, and you're going to be asked to make an integrated circuit, which means basically to hide all this in a box. And they're going to talk about that in the lab report. So I'm going to paint the whole thing, and I'm going to right-click on it. I'm going to say Create Integrated Circuit. It tells me that I don't have things labeled for purposes of the integrated circuit. That's fine. So that kind of labeling is different than these text things. So I'm going to click on the boundary of the switch here. I'm going to call it exactly the same thing, A. The boundary here, B, and then just on top of the light switch here, X. All right, so now I'm going to paint it again. Right-click on it, create an integrated circuit. Okay, didn't give me any problems that time, so I'm going to call this AND gate. Okay, and you notice that the labels that we just used, A, B, X. So I'm going to create. Okay. So now, in theory, this is something I can use. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see AND gate right here. So this has this inside of it. And the way to see that is just to click on it, double click, and you see exactly the circuit that we created. So this has this design inside. So that's how you create an integrated circuit. And so the last thing you want to do is when you do create a circuit like up here, it's going to ask you to save the circuit. So I'm going to get rid of this right now. So let's say you have this design, and you're supposed to save it in order to upload it to Sakai. So you go over here to File, Save As, and create the name that it tells you to, and put it in that Lab 3 folder. Okay? So I'm not going to do that right now, but that's how you save. And to do a screen capture, the easiest way to do screen captures on a Mac is just using the Grab utility. Oops, wrong folder, sorry about that. Come over here to Applications, Utilities, and then Grab. And this allows you to come up here, here's Grab, Capture, Selection, and you just and you can go up under Edit, Copy, and you can paste it into your document. Okay? So hopefully this little brief introduction helps a lot, and so I'll sign off for now and let you guys play. Let's save, stop it.